Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the Word Nerds podcast, your place to boost your listening and speaking skills and learn English through real conversations. I'm Lila.
And I'm Kai.
Kai, don't look at me like that.
I haven't said anything yet.
You're looking at me with your calm face. That's worse.
What happened?
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, I decided I was becoming a morning person.
I remember you sent me a 6 a.m. selfie.
I sent you one 6 a.m. selfie. Then life happened.
Define life happened.
The bed got comfortable again. That's the whole story.
So the morning person plan?
Is currently on a long vacation, possibly permanent.
I'm not surprised.
Rude, but fair.
I think this is actually a perfect way to start today's topic.
Oh no, is this going to be a lecture?
Not a lecture, a conversation. Today, we're talking about motivation versus discipline, why we start things with so much energy and why that energy doesn't always stick around.
That sounds like my biography.
And don't worry, this isn't an episode where I tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. and journal about your goals.
Good, because I was not emotionally prepared for that.
This is about something more honest. Why motivation feels amazing for about a week and then quietly disappears.
And why some people, like Kai, apparently never have that problem.
I have the problem, I just don't wait for the feeling to go away before I act.
That sentence already hurts a little.
In a good way, I hope.
We'll see.
All right, quick note before we continue. This episode is great for B1 and B2 learners. If you're A2, you can still follow along. And if there is a slightly challenging word, the visual explanation will appear on the screen. But don't worry about every word. Just listen for the feeling and repeat the lines you like.
And later, we'll spend 3 or 4 minutes in the word room, where we slow down and really look at the key words from today's conversation, the ones that already came up naturally, so they really stick in your brain.
After that, stay for Say It Better, where we take honest, slightly harsh sentences people say about themselves and turn them into something more accurate and kinder.
For example, instead of saying, "I have no motivation," you can say, "I'm relying on motivation instead of building a routine." Different sentence, different feeling.
Ooh, that one's already calling my name.
So stay with us. Today you'll learn how to talk about motivation, discipline, and the messy space in between in better English. Okay, Kai, be honest. Have you ever started something just because you felt inspired, and then the feeling left?
Sure, it happens. But I don't expect the feeling to stay. That's the difference.
Wait, say that again?
I don't expect it to stay. I think people get confused because they think motivation should last. It's not built to last. It's a spark, not fuel.
A spark, not fuel. I like that. So what do you use instead?
A system. Something boring enough that it doesn't need me to feel inspired.
Boring on purpose?
Boring on purpose. If my morning routine depends on how I feel, it'll fail by Wednesday.
That's eerily specific.
It's personal experience.
Okay, but here's my problem with that. When I'm inspired, I'm unstoppable. I wrote an entire podcast outline in one night last month. One night, Kai.
I remember. You sent me 40 voice messages.
They were good voice messages.
They were. But what happened the next week?
The outline is still an outline?
Right. That's the pattern I'm talking about.
Okay, but you can't tell me discipline gives you that same magic, that same I could do anything feeling.
It doesn't, and I don't need it to.
That sounds a little sad, honestly.
Does it? Or does it sound reliable?
Okay, fine. That's a good point. But I think discipline has a reputation problem.
Go on.
When people hear discipline, they think strict, cold, no fun, waking up at 5 a.m. to suffer, like punishment.
That's fair. I think people mix up discipline with self-punishment. They're not the same thing.
What's the difference?
Punishment is I'm forcing myself because I'm not good enough. Discipline is closer to taking care of yourself, even on days you don't feel like it.
Oh, I like that a lot more.
It's not about being harsh with yourself. It's the opposite, actually. It's deciding you're worth showing up for, even without the mood to match.
That's basically self-respect with a schedule.
I'm going to use that.
Please credit me.
Fully credited.
Okay, but here's where I push back a little. Discipline sounds great when it works, but what about when your system fails? Does that ever happen to you?
Of course. Last year I had a streak. Exercise every single day, 91 days.
91. Very specific.
I was counting. And then I missed the day. Just one.
What happened?
I felt like the whole thing was ruined. Like 91 days meant nothing because of one missed day.
That's surprisingly human of you.
It surprised me too. I judged myself harder for missing one day than I ever judged myself for anything else.
So even the disciplined person has a breakdown moment?
Even the disciplined person. I think that was actually a good lesson. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about returning. The streak wasn't ruined. I just paused and came back.
The streak wasn't ruined, I just paused and came back. That's a really kind sentence for someone who sounds so strict.
I'm strict with the system, not with myself. That took me a long time to learn.
I think that's the part people miss. They think discipline equals zero flexibility.
No, it just means you don't need a feeling to show up. You show up, and the feeling sometimes follows.
Okay, that's actually the opposite of how I live. I need the feeling first.
Right, and that works until the feeling doesn't come.
Unfortunately, yes. And when it doesn't come, I sit there feeling like a failure, like something's wrong with me.
Nothing's wrong with you. You're just running on a fuel that runs out.
A spark, not fuel. There it is again. So what's the alternative for someone like me? I'm not going to suddenly become a 6 a.m. routine person.
You don't have to copy my system. You need your own version of consistency.
What does that even mean for someone spontaneous?
Maybe it's not every morning at 6. Maybe it's I write for 10 minutes every day, whenever. Flexible timing, but the action still happens.
So the routine bends, but it doesn't break.
That's it.
Okay, I could actually do that.
It doesn't need to look like mine. It just needs to be something you can repeat on a boring Tuesday, not just an inspired Monday.
A boring Tuesday test.
I like that. We should use that.
So basically, motivation gets the party started.
Motivation gets you started. Discipline is what shows up after motivation goes home.
Oh, that's good. Say it again so I remember it.
Motivation gets you started. Discipline is what shows up after motivation goes home.
That's going in the description.
I think it should.
Can I be honest about something else?
Always.
I think I judge myself too much for not being like you. You know, consistent, calm, scheduled.
You don't need to be like me.
But sometimes I see your 91-day streak and I think, why can't I do that?
Because you're not trying to do that. You're trying to live your way, but feeling guilty about it using my standards.
Oh, that's annoyingly accurate.
You don't lack discipline, Lila. You just haven't built a version of it that fits how you actually work.
I haven't found my consistency yet.
That's a much kinder sentence than I'm lazy.
It really is.
And honestly, I could learn something from you too.
From me? The chaos person?
The chaos person who wrote an entire outline in one night because she was excited. I don't let myself get that excited about things. I'm scared it'll become unreliable.
So you protect yourself from inspiration?
Maybe a little. I trust the system so much, I forgot to trust the spark sometimes.
Wow, look at us. Growth.
Don't get used to it. I do want to say one more thing, though. There's a trap on the other side, too.
What do you mean?
People who only use willpower. No system, no rest, just forcing themselves through everything by pure willpower.
What happens to them?
Burnout. Eventually, the willpower runs out, and it runs out hard. They don't just slow down, they stop completely.
So willpower alone isn't the answer either.
No, willpower is good for a single hard moment. It's not built for months.
So it's not motivation bad, discipline good.
No, it's neither one works alone. You need the spark sometimes, and you need the system underneath it so the spark isn't doing all the work.
That actually makes me feel better. I'm not broken for needing inspiration.
You're not broken. You just needed a system that catches you when the inspiration leaves.
I haven't found my consistency yet. I like that sentence more every time you say it.
So if someone listening feels behind right now, not consistent, not disciplined, stuck waiting to feel like it, what would you tell them?
Don't wait for motivation. Build a routine small enough that it doesn't need motivation to survive.
And for me, don't feel guilty for needing a spark sometimes. Just don't let the whole thing depend on it.
Show up small, show up often. Let momentum do the rest.
Momentum. That's a good word for where this conversation landed.
It really is. And speaking of words,
It's time for the word room.
let's slow down and look closely at the words from today's conversation.
Motivation. Motivation is a feeling of wanting to do something, excitement, energy, inspiration to act.
You might say, I had so much motivation when I started this project. Or if it's fading, my motivation is a little low this week.
Inspired. Inspired means you suddenly feel excited or moved to do something, often after seeing or hearing something.
You could say, I felt inspired after watching that video, or she inspired me to start running again.
Discipline. Discipline means doing something consistently, even when you don't feel like it. It's not punishment, it's a kind of self-respect.
You might say, it takes discipline to keep going on the hard days, or I'm working on my discipline, not just my motivation.
Consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly in the same way over time.
You could say, consistency matters more than intensity, or I'm trying to build more consistency in my mornings.
Routine. A routine is a regular set of actions you do, often at similar times, that becomes automatic.
You might say, I have a short morning routine now, or my routine helps me start the day without thinking too hard.
Willpower. Willpower is the mental strength to push through something difficult in the moment.
You could say, I used pure willpower to finish that report, or willpower alone wasn't enough. I needed a system.
Burnout. Burnout is the state of being completely exhausted, mentally and physically, often from pushing too hard for too long.
You might say, I hit burnout after months of working without rest, or I'm trying to avoid burnout this time.
Showing up. Showing up means actually doing the thing, being present and following through even in a small way.
You could say, some days just showing up is the whole win, or I didn't feel like it, but I showed up anyway.
Momentum. Momentum is the energy and progress you build once you keep going. It makes continuing easier than stopping.
You might say, once I started, I built momentum and didn't want to stop, or small habits create momentum over time.
Today, we learned 9 words and phrases: motivation, inspired, discipline, consistency, routine, willpower, burnout, showing up, and momentum.
Try using one of them this week when you talk about your own goals.
Now, let's take a few honest, slightly harsh sentences people say about themselves and make them more accurate and kinder.
Let's start with a common one. I have no motivation.
That's understandable, but it's not the full picture. A more accurate way to say it is, I'm relying on motivation instead of building a routine.
Here's another. I'm so lazy.
That's harsh, and usually not even true. Try, I haven't found my consistency yet.
What about this one? I always quit things.
A kinder, more honest variant is I'm still learning how to make things sustainable.
One more. I should be more disciplined.
Instead, try I'm building a system that doesn't depend on how I feel.
And the last one for the hard days. I failed again.
A better way to say it is, I paused. I'm coming back. So now we want to hear from you. This week, are you running on motivation or are you building discipline? Maybe it's both.
Try using one word from today's word room: motivation, inspired, discipline, consistency, routine, willpower, burnout, showing up, or momentum.
Thank you for learning with us today. Keep practicing. Take care.
And Kai, go easy on yourself if you ever miss a day.
No promises, but I'll try to remember the streak isn't ruined. I just pause and come back.
That's all we ask.
Bye for now.